Everyone screams, it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rumors that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood ones, the holly suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempt the mental robbery, executed sloppily. The hypocrisy, this mockery, and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.
Sweet eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful, friends. Welcome back to Rogue Soul, where tonight it is my honor to welcome a man who has stolen my heart and owns it completely because of his beautiful soul, his genius-level intellect, his astounding and prolific creativity, and his deep fascination and experience with the paranormal, esoteric, and profound. He is the Zen-keeping, ink-slinging rap machinist, the Yeti slang, the master of the mic, the man of a million art styles, the Salvador Dali of our time, the pop surrealist, Rorschach in Technicolor, Johnny Larson. Welcome back to Rogue Soul. How are you doing tonight?
Fuck it, I'm out. That was it. That's all,
That's all you need.
I'll bring you the check. I'm doing good. Thank you. That was rad.
I like making people just blush right at the beginning.
So anytime that we have like an argument, I'll just play that. Like, remember? It doesn't matter my shortcomings. Like, remember all of that stuff?
Remember when you said these things?
Remember that time? No, all is well. It's awesome to be back. I don't remember the last time I was on Rogue Ways. I was on Chat and Higher Side. I was on Rogue Ways, and now I'm on Rogue Soul. So
yeah, you've made it through all the iterations. This is what 8 years.
Yeah,
actually.
I was just never on the middle path because my spirituality is muddy.
It wasn't good enough to get on middle path.
I was not good enough to be interviewed for. I was making dream catchers, but they were just making people have nightmares. So
these are subpar. Why are you even doing this? Give up. Well, before we jump into things with you tonight, Johnny, I'm going to say to my beautiful audience out there, thank you for being here and being you. Please check out my books, my one-on-one spiritual and healing sessions, my powerful orgone accumulators, and more at roguesoul.org. And thank you for becoming a paid subscriber on rogueways.substack.com. You can also become a free subscriber there. I appreciate you all. And you can get your channeled messages as they come through, as well as plenty of other articles there. And always get updates on upcoming events and other things going on. So definitely be subscribed there at rogueways.substack.com. Thank you all. And back to Johnny with the pointless question of the episode, which is why?
42.
Good answer. Good answer.
42. They're going to ask why I look so pale. It was because of this ring light that I decided to throw on.
You look like the ghost of a virgin who died in 1912.
My uncle said you look like the ghost of a virgin who starved to death.
So I know you had some pretty profound experiences when you were younger with the paranormal, with various spiritual things. And I think like many of us, that you probably also had no idea what all of that meant. We don't have any guidance for this, right? What are the types of things you experienced?
Yeah, I had I usually had like a bunch of, so I went out of body a lot. And I also had a lot of like spiritual attacks, but they were more or less in dreams. Like I had this recurring one where I would be like at this mall, I would lose my mom, and then like these old ladies would like try to help me, but they would like turn into like demons and shit, and then I'd like wake up. I'd also have a lot of dreams about like a specific thing that like lived in my closet, and it would always be so weird because I'd wake up like staring at the closet, and it was like, oh man, like what is this? But you don't really have the understanding of reality. What I did have is I had like a lot of church background. Like my mom always had me going to church. She's very spiritual and very religious. So like not in like a hardcore, like, like you should feel guilty all the time kind of way, but like in a Nebraska, like bring everyone a casserole community kind of way. So I always felt like I could pray to Jesus or whatever and be like safe about it. But it was very strange Like I feel like at a point I just like blocked everything to stop having experiences. It's a lot like the Constantine movie. Like the detective in the movie, I don't remember if she was a detective, but whoever it was, she was talking about how her and her sister would see things and she was able to block it out, but then her sister wasn't. So her sister was like committed and she wouldn't like speak up for her sister because that's crazy and blah blah blah. So I had like a lot of stuff like that, and then I also would go out of body quite often. I'm sure it could have had something to do with like I was on like a lot of asthma medication, which I feel like in between like REM sleep and a crack bender. So like
Yeah.
but I just remembered I would always remember like being able to like fly down the stairs. Like I could jump and like not get injured and like kind of like float down and stuff. And then I would see like entities and stuff in the living room that would kind of like freak me out and bring me back, and I'd snap back in bed. So that was pretty interesting. I also had little visitors that would come every once in a while. They were like little, I don't know, they were probably like an inch tall little guys that like walk over me. They're kind of playful. And I remember like I was like kind of scared shitless the first few times, but then I could reach out and like pick them up and like drop them and they'd like fall or like float to the ground and be all like giggly. And like I think it was actually in the astral realm though, because there was kind of like the same tent when I would see them. Everything was kind of like a greenish tint. I'd almost like compare it to like the Matrix when they would like show the green tint. Like but they were never really evil or weird, but they would just show up and be like walking all over me. And like I would reason it away sometimes, like, well, I did watch Gulliver's Travels a lot and like thought it would be kind of cool to be a giant, and like say they would like a lot of the out of body and other stuff. I'm like, I saw like Poltergeist and like Ghostbusters way too young, but I think it was like legit things trying to suck off my energy. And I'm happy that I had like at least some sort of foundation to understand that like Christ, however you look at Christ, whether it's Christ consciousness, whatever, was there to like protect me, or like even maybe my own spiritual being or my own guardians or whatever. I've been told I have like crazy guardians, but
Oh, you do.
meaning like they just look crazy. They're probably
They're psychotic. Like, yeah.
yeah, they just beat on people. No, all like the coolest people. Well, not all the coolest people. I still live with the coolest person, but many very cool people that I know and have passed over, and I'm sure they want to like hang out because I'm fucking crazy, and they probably crack up quite a bit just being around me. So
Yeah, yeah, they're like, "Look at this guy, look at his brain. Oh my god, let's watch his life." I often feel like our guardians and our angels or whatever are just sort of watching, and sometimes they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" And other times they're like cracking up, and like I think it's fun for them. But it's crazy, this astral projection thing. I think a lot more people maybe experienced it when they were young than maybe even remember, or just they didn't know what
yeah,
to do with it, right? So they just kind of like, I don't know, really vivid dream or something, and a lot of people lose the ability to dream, or they just stop paying attention to their dreams. So their dreams sort of fly away first thing in the morning. And so people maybe don't even know that they've had some of these profound experiences. But it's interesting that you talk about that mall that you were in, and you'd get lost from your mom, and then these weird beings would come and turn into demons. And this astral mall is actually like a continuous theme through lots of different astral projection and astral experiences. And we can be in different states of consciousness when we're in those experiences. Sometimes you're like super lucid, you know exactly what's going on. It's like being, awake, but even more awake than when you're awake. And then sometimes you're kind of just loosely in and you're still in the astral realm, but you're not fully aware. And I just think people don't recognize that sometimes what we call dreams are these very real experiences. So the Astro
right.
Mall is one of those places. Like a lot of people have actually been there, and Monroe, he talked about the Astro Mall, and it's maybe sort of like a way station, right?
Right. Well, that was a weird thing too, like kind of remembering it, thinking back on it, because it's still pretty vivid. Like I remember several times like it being maybe like a bus or a subway that I'd be on, and I would escape by going down like a fire pole like through the floor and then like wake up. Which is pretty weird too. I kind of forgot about that. But
Well, and it's funny because you can sort of create in the astral, right? You can create escape hatches and like ways out, and it's
well,
fascinating
learning
place.
that's why I was like, I feel like it is kind of funny that there was like similarities between like the creepy old man in Ghostbusters 2 would like it kind of be a theme sometimes. Like there'd be like some things that I'm sure were me. I mean, that was the thing I didn't really understand about astral projection until I like looked into it later in life. And again, I got kind of successful at doing it again later. But then it like scared the shit out of me. So I just started drinking and stuff so I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. But like, yeah, hearing a lot of that, how it's like your own mentality that makes it up. It's sort of like what they say with like acid, right? Like if you are going to trip out on like psychedelics, like your mindset is everything. If you are in a negative place in life, like maybe it's not the best idea to mess with psychedelics. And I feel like that's the same thing with the astral. But now I know if I end up in the astral again, to like just protect the silver cord, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like you said, you can call on Jesus and he's just like the master of all things. So it's like an
Right.
easy out as well, or easy protection as well, or easy guidance as well.
Plus, he could
It's
talk to my chickens, and I want to be able to talk to them. So maybe
yeah,
one day I'll become Christ-like in that way.
he's a good interpreter of chicken. Uh so it's funny too, that idea that like if we do psychedelics or we go into the astral, that it's like going to magnify what you've already got, in your mind and in your heart. And so it's easier to see that in those sort of spaces. It's easier to experience that, but in reality, like that's what we're doing all day, every day, right?
Right.
Is like we're projecting or we're creating, or like how are we going to view this? How are we going to take it? What are we going to do with it? And we've all experienced like shifting our perspective a little bit here or there, and then everything changes, right? In
Yeah.
in direct waking reality. And so our minds are just so powerful.
Very true.
You also talk about, the demonic or the dark entities and the attacks and like the old ladies and some of this stuff that made you eventually block it out, and then even later start drinking to stop it, shut
Yeah.
it down, right? Um,
Right.
and so this is the other thing I think a lot of people don't talk about. I think a lot of like new age, spiritual, like astral travel, all that stuff, they don't necessarily talk about the dark, the demonic, these sort of entities. And then a lot of just spiritual, religious people also don't talk about it. But then when people, like you go and see and experience that, where do you have to turn, or what are you going to do, right? Like, how do you then deal with all of this dark stuff? So how do you think about those sort of darker things and the greater worldview?
I think it's like the Jerry Marzinski thing. I remember thinking I was losing my fucking mind when I was like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 12. I would get this repetitive thing in my head, like, fuck God, fuck God, fuck God. And I would hear it. And I'm like, this is weird because
Yeah.
I actually really love God and Jesus. And it like was worrying me. I was like scared. I don't even think I really understood like possession or like the fact that like maybe entities could like put stuff into your head or whatever. And it was like something that eventually just kind of passed. I like mentally like blocked it out somehow. I don't know, like filled it with like watching Aliens too many times or like movies or whatever. But it was like one of those things I like never really told anyone about. And it was really weird because my friend who I is like my favorite rap partner, one of my really good friends, the night I met him, we were at like a house party in high school. And for whatever reason, he was like, yo, you want to like go to my car, like smoke a joint, like talk? And I was like, well, I don't smoke, but like I'll hang out with you. You're like super cool. And I like sat in his car. And like one of the first things he said, he's like, man, when I was little, I'd like hear this voice like, fuck God, fuck like in my head. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like I got like chills. I was like, I did too. Like, I'm not even just saying this to like be your friend. Like, this is the weirdest thing in the world. And like, we had surmised that he was deep. We were both like pretty Christian still at that time, even though we were like into some questionable shit. Like, it was like really weird. Like we concluded that it was definitely something trying to like persuade us to like go a different path or something. I don't know. It was really weird. So I do feel like I'm kind of a coward in a way because I feel like I've blocked out a lot of that stuff because I didn't want to like deal with it head on or have like experiences like you had and shit. I have had like some haunting experiences as an adult, stuff like that, but it like didn't really bother me because I was like, I wouldn't say emotionally well, but like spiritually well enough to understand like, I don't know. I mean, if I have to like face something dark, I mean, darkness is everywhere. We
Mhm.
all have dark thoughts. Like, it's really weird to me when people are like spiritual and they like pretend that there's like no darkness
Yeah.
or something. I'm like, no, there's like a reason we have like the yin yang, like, because there's fucking light. It's like our duality, it's our nature. Any of us can flip out at some point if we were like pushed hard enough or had like something really persuade us the wrong way. So I'm like, I think it's good to acknowledge that, but also know like it doesn't have power over you. I don't know if that
Yeah.
answers the question, but
Yeah.
that's the way I always kind of looked at it.
No, it's actually really, I think what's most needed perhaps is for people to have their darkness acknowledged, like understand that it's real, and then also understand that there's something you can do about it. And I actually think it's great that you found this way to just like, nah, not doing that. I don't need any of that, right? I can be protected from all of that, and I can be separate from all that. And you know, speaking of like the attacks specifically, especially of these darker entities, and for people to know that that's possible, because you know, one of the things that is true in my experience, and I think yours too, is that this is actually a spiritual war.
Mhm.
And you know, there are sides, and they both want you for their side, no matter who you are. They're like, yeah,
Right.
we'll take you, right? Like, you know, so which side do you want to be on? Which side would you rather be connected with? I always get so confused that anyone wants the dark side. I'm like, what?
Well, when you
Why?
think of it too, like if you're like a high, like functioning, like you're like an amazing fucking hacker or something, yeah, the government wants you, like other or that like you're like hot property. So like if you're somehow powerful spiritually, of course either side is like, yeah, like let's recruit this person or whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah. They're
So
like,
and
we'll
yeah, the
take
dark
you.
side is weird, but like I mean, if you just want like lots of blue pool tables, hot tubs with bitches and Ferraris and
Yeah.
like mansions, like maybe the dark side has its appeal, but it never did to me because I'm like, this is still eternal. Like our life here is, I mean, now I've gotten to a different point where I'm more of like each life is a test and we're growing towards like something else. So like you can kind of fuck up maybe and that's a lesson for the next life. But clearly I've had enough fucking up to where I'm like, I don't really want to do that anymore. I don't really want to be the asshole. I don't want to like cause harm or pain. Um, I'd rather just make people feel good, laugh, like let's and not take yourself too seriously. Like the world's seriously fucked up, but like I don't know. My mom always laughed. Like even when she was diagnosed with like breast cancer, we like laughed through it. We watched Arrested Development and like joked and she was jovial the whole time. She was never like downtrodden about it. And I'm sure she was inside, but she wasn't going to do that. And like I learned a lot of that from her. I've always had good spirits. Like I would call in to work sometimes like sick as fuck with the flu. They wouldn't even believe I was sick because I still carry myself the same way
Yeah.
even when I feel down, like because I don't find it necessary to like bring other people into my shit
Right.
in a way. I don't know. It's more fun if we could all smile and laugh.
Which is not to say that,
We can grieve together, but
yeah, and it's not to say that we don't have our down days or our times where we're off or whatever, but it's so important. And you know, I get this a lot too, where people are like, you know, what can I do? And I feel darkness, or I feel whatever, I feel sadness, or I feel all this, and I can't get out of it. And it's like you have to actually just choose the opposite. And it is your choice. You have free
right.
will, right? And it's hard. Nobody's saying it's easy to laugh while you have cancer, but like you do it anyway if what you're choosing is to like have that light bright energy be more present with you, and it's more healing. And you know, once you start to do it, it does start to shift, and you do feel like, oh, I can do that actually, and it is actually a choice. And you know, we, again, not to say you don't feel the sadness, the anger, whatever it is, but that you just always keep going back to the light.
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a time for it. And there are days where I mean I've been severely depressed before. Like and I still find something to enjoy in the day though. Like and when I was like really feeling like shit, like even like when so I was like a hardcore alcoholic, and when I was getting sober, it was rough. Because I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go cold turkey. I probably almost died. It's it is what it is. I wouldn't recommend that. But even when I'd feel like downtrodden and stuff, I'm like, okay, dude, I'm gonna go take a long walk or just go do something. And even if I felt shitty and was like, man, this bird's annoying, like I hate the sun, like, I was still moving, and I was still like understanding that there's like progression, and like time will heal things, and it may be 6 months, it may be a long road, but that's like so much better than like anything else, like taking yourself out or like hurting other people. um Even in like the most down situations, like the universe has your back. You just have to let it. And I know that that's just platitudes and someone saying shit like to some people. When you're really feeling down, people will give you those like, oh, just go by day or whatever. And it seems like bullshit because it's you're going through it, but it's actually true because I
It
do
is.
it all the time. I've had some big ups and downs this year, but like I don't know, I'm still here and everything keeps working out because I keep treading through and it doesn't matter.
Man, you really have. You're like from all angles, like family and friends and like people going through hardships and you going through hardships. And like it's been a rough year. And I bet a lot of people out there resonate with that too, that this year has been challenging. But it is fascinating when you get that perspective where you're like, wow, that was really rough. But look how more easily I moved through it this time than like I would have 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Right.
Right.
Right. Exactly. Because that's the thing too. Like the universe is goofy like that with the ebb and flow.
Yeah.
Like you might have something really rough happen, but then something really cool will happen. And even like this year, like I quit my last job to just work on art full time. And man, like everything has been trying to pull me out of it.
Yeah.
Like, so hard. Like, no, here's this job that pays really good. Like, go do that. Or like, oh man, your bank account's fucked. Like, now you have no money. Like, what are you gonna do? And it's like, well, I'm gonna keep making art, dude.
Yeah.
Because if I give in and like I've stopped this process so many times, why not just keep treading forward and see what happens? Like, I don't know. It's really weird and but really rewarding. It's
Well,
fun in a way to just kind of like release. So I don't want to say it's like you don't want to be reckless, but you don't really control your life either. Like you can to an extent. Like you can not go spend your child's like college fund on gambling. Like you can make choices like that and control things like that. But there's some stuff that just pops out of nowhere. I mean, I remember like right before I was gonna quit, I like my savings wasn't great, but it was like enough. Like someone breaks into the car, like fucks up the whole steering column, and it was like the entirety of like what I had saved to like and I like, well then maybe I won't put in my notice. Maybe I'll just stay for a while. And you're like, they're testing you, like move
yeah.
forward. So it does help also to have a good person by your side to kind of keep you grounded from
It's
time to time as well. Because it's easy to
it's
throw in the towel.
Yeah. Well, it's like we have to actually like find these people who we can move through things together with and you can rely on. And you're talking about your mom or you're talking about me. And we all have someone. I remember someone recently said to me, like, well, I only have like one, or two good friends. And I was like, that's actually all anyone ever has. And the people
Right.
who say otherwise are maybe they don't know what good friend means because no one's capable, in studies they show like we have like five close people basically. We can't maintain more really close relationships than that. And the rest of the people are still our friends.
Right.
They're like maybe more towards the level of acquaintance where it's like, yeah, I love you. I'm here for you. And also like it's a little bit different, right? It's a little bit further out. So you got one or two close friends, like, oh my God, you're rich, right? Like,
Right.
good job. You have this
Right.
close,
Right.
you have a partner, you have a wife, you have a husband, like, good job. That's
Oh yeah.
amazing,
I mean, you'll
actually.
figure that shit out too. If your friendships like if your friendships are built on like partying and like getting fucked up and stuff like that, and then you become sober, you realize real quickly, you're like, oh, like not a single one of those people were actually my friend at
Right.
all. They're good associates, perhaps.
Yep.
They're still maybe good people to play cards with or have a meal with or something. But like as far as actually caring about you, like, yeah, you notice pretty quickly when I mean there's a difference too. There are some people that like expect everyone to do everything for them all the time. They think that's a good friendship. And I'm like, that's not a good friendship either, though, because that's just codependency. And that also leads to really weird places. But
Not the development of self, at least. Well, it's funny.
right.
So we went from sort of like, talking about this spiritual war that's going on in general in the universe, we'll say. And then you're talking about, choosing to quit your day job to become self-employed and do art all of the time. And this is a much more internal war, right? Like this is the
Yeah.
war of self, or the war of art, as that, goes. And all these things, like you said, were like trying to pull you out of that. And sometimes people are like, well, doesn't that mean you weren't supposed to go that way? Right? Like,
Right.
doesn't that mean like something's trying to tell you that's the wrong way to go? And how do you feel about that? You kind of already said it, but
Yeah, no, it like, well, that's kind of the way I was. It's not real. I shouldn't say I was raised that way, because that it sounds like my parents weren't supportive of my art, but like a lot of people close to me, like I had like really good friends who were like, you should just be an artist. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I like grew up with all the people I really like looked up to, or that like kind of, nourished me or whatever, kind of being like, yeah, it's like a great hobby, but like you need something that puts a roof over your head and feeds you and whatever. And I think that stigma still sticks with me, because building the business acumen to art is like one of the craziest things in the world, because I just want to paint all day. I just want some rich benefactor to find me and be like, this guy is amazing, and I'm going to buy his paintings for 400,000 each, and then I could just sit around and paint and be weird as fuck like Dali. Whereas that's not really the reality of it. But I have learned that my art is unique enough that a lot of people, whether it be like graphic design, murals, paintings, just all sorts of weird avenues have kind of opened up to where, and I have a fortunate living situation, and I'm able to slowly build this up, and I still don't really know where it's going to land, or like what's going to be the bread and butter, or like the main aspect of the work. Like, I'm kind of like, if I was like a mechanic, I'm like doing everything. I'm doing like body work, I'm doing paint jobs, I'm doing engines, I'm doing interiors. Like I'm putting cars on websites. I don't know how to really explain it, but
yeah.
I'm kind of have my hands in everything just to make sure money's coming in, but I still haven't really found exactly what may be where I'm supposed to land, which in a way would be scary, but it's working out.
Yeah.
And I feel like the flow of it's all going to open up the way it's supposed to. The main thing is just having the courage to keep doing it, the courage to put yourself out there. Because when I think about it, it is kind of crazy. I'm kind of extroverted, but I am like self-conscious still. Like, it's kind of crazy to just put your heart like out in front of people at these shows, because some people just walk by and look at your shit like, meh.
Or they walk by and they're like, that's terrifying, and like walk away.
But then someone 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours later, even like a dead show where you're like questioning your your worth and your livelihood, someone will come by and be like looking through it, and they're like, I have never seen anything like this. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, like, why are you even at this stupid small show? You should be famous or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really want that either. I don't want to be famous. I think that'd be like really weird, unless I could be like a awesome philanthropist or something. But yeah, it's really weird to put your heart out there for people to like kind of judge. Like, Anubis is just coming up like weighing your heart and shit like over and over. But it's rewarding and fun. It's even when it's like there's like so many dead shows and stuff. It's still fun to like talk to everybody and meet people and kind of hear their tales too. And I don't know. It's awesome, but I was trying to do both, like working a full-time job and doing that, and like I just wasn't present, like, because I just be like, man, I want to just get this show fucking over with, because I got to go to work early tomorrow, and this next year coming up, we're going to be like traveling to a bunch of different cities and stuff, doing art shows. I think that's just going to be really fun to get out and to talk to people again. I feel like 2020 like really let us reel it in and like go deep into like reclusiveness, which a lot of people were already pretty happy with. I'm not gonna lie, when I quit drinking, I pretty much was a shut in for a while, and I enjoyed it, but getting out and connecting with people is so important, and I feel like we lost that for so long.
It's
it was
so
like your
true.
retreat last summer. It was just really cool to like hang out with everybody. Like I thought like, I'll probably like hang out for a little bit and then like retreat to the room and stuff. And I'm like finding myself just hanging out till everybody's going to bed and like making all these new friends. It was so much fun.
Oh, it's so cool.
Because connecting with people is amazing. And most of us probably aren't very similar in a lot of ways, but we are similar in many ways. And that's enough to just be like fun to sit down and talk. And I don't know. The connection
Yeah.
is so important.
It's really, really cool. And it actually goes back to this thing that's sort of happening in the larger world again that we see where AI and the digital and all of this, it can definitely increase our distance from each other, increase our disconnection from ourselves, from each other, from the world, all of these things. But in another way, it's actually perhaps forcing us back into realizing the really important aspects of connecting. And so people, when they come and they get to like hold your art, touch your art, see it up front, and that sort of aspect of being at shows, like you were saying, talking to people, blowing their minds, because every once in a while we'll see the person's like, and they're scared of your art. But then we'll see like 40 more people who look and they just stop and they stare, and I can see their aura, and their aura's like just expanding and like changing, like you're like blowing their minds because they're just like, what is this? And even if they never say it, like those few people do, I shouldn't even say few, but that some people do it, they're still feeling it and they're still like recognizing. And that type of connection is so important for people to get out of their bubble, out of their normal, out of this just like everyday cookie cutter, buy this, do this, look at that, and get into this like, whoa, what is this actually? Right? Like that's actually this
Right.
profound thing you can't get from AI. You can't get it from the digital. You can't get it when you're just sitting with yourself. There's important things about just sitting with yourself, but there's something else that you get from going outside of yourself and connecting with something. And your art really gives people that.
Which is like kind of unintentional, because I just draw for me. Like
Yeah.
I always kind of did. I just created for myself and I never really thought much about it. I mean, I didn't even sell art until my friends were like, hey dude, will you like sell me that? I'm like, yeah. Like, I mean, it's just sitting here. Like, why wouldn't I sell it? And I was selling art for like nothing back in the day. Like I was selling it for drugs or something. I don't even know. But a lot of my art is just kind of my own reflection or my own channeling. And like, it's just kind of weird in its own way, but it still tells a tale, but it tells a tale to everyone kind of differently. And that's my actual favorite thing about the shows is like sitting there with like my print bin of all of my digital stuff, like the stuff that I'm putting in this next book and stuff, like and just watching people flip through it and watching their face. Like it's just so much fun because they'll like laugh, they'll like, we're like, whoa, or they'll just be like just punched in the chest or something. And it could be something that I had no meaning behind at all. I didn't really think about it, but then it kind of hit me. We were at the Dolly Museum a few weeks ago, and I was like, no, this is actually, I had really good art teachers, but the point of art is like to not give a fuck what anyone wants you to be or what's the hottest trend or like what's what. For me, it's like, it just resonates with me. And then the bonus is it ends up resonating with other people. Like even the color schemes, I've like worked a long time developing color relationships and stuff like that. And I've just been told recently by like a lot of painters and other artists are just like, your color schemes are crazy, like really good. And I'm like, it just looked good to me. Like like, what's your secret? I'm like, I don't know.
Your
Lots
secret
of
is
Monty Python.
it's being authentic. That's what you're describing, right? It's like not
Right.
following I mean, you can learn the rules and then break them like they say or whatever, but like it's just being true to yourself. That resonates with people, right? I love this
Right.
study that was like the vibrations people create, right? And like we would assume the highest vibration that we can create is love, but actually the highest
Right.
vibration is authenticity. And so like right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
this
and that's the thing, I
authenticity,
did learn all the rules, like, I did so that it used to annoy the fuck out of me because people would, like, walk by, before I realized I should have prints and stuff like that that's actually affordable to everyone, I would just do these one-night art shows and, like, hang paintings for sale and be all down on myself because no one wanted to buy them, like, which in reality, no one's going out on, like, a cheap date night to buy a $600 painting or
yeah.
something, but I did learn I was a classically trained artist. Like I learned all of the art styles. I learned all of the techniques. And then eventually I was like, this shit is boring to me. I just want to create my own stuff that kind of like walks the line of everything kind of like put together. And that's why I don't know. I feel sometimes like everyone says they can recognize my work. But I feel like I have like 7 different styles or something, but everyone can recognize my work, whatever it is. And I think it is the authenticity, just like I don't care what people think. Like I have drawn every day for 45 years. Like I will always do art. Like it's whatever it is. Maybe it's my journal, maybe it's my therapy. And I know it's therapeutic, and I almost want to get to a point where I can like teach people classes on like using art as therapy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because people are still like, I'll meet like people who are like, yeah, I want them to like paint, but I'm not good or what. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter at all. Like just paint. Like trust me, it is the most relaxing shit. There's like, I don't know. Some people may hate it, but just painting a room with rollers feels good. Like maybe I'm crazy, but I had a job as a painter one time and I loved it. Like the work dried up and I wasn't hired back, but I did it for like 4 months and I loved it. Like it was so zen. Like you're just in a room by yourself listening to talk radio or whatever, like painting walls.
Yeah.
There's something to it. I don't know.
No, it's totally true. It's actually crazy to me. So people can recognize all your styles. You have so many styles. It is that authenticity, I think, that is what people can recognize about it. Because again, I think of people who watch this show a lot have seen my millions of show, splash screens or whatever, the show art. And so they've seen a lot of your art. If they saw it anywhere else, they'd be able to recognize it. But even behind you, you've got like multiple of your styles, and that's just the
Right.
tiniest sampling. And when I say prolific, people have called me prolific before with my writing. I've actually never met anyone as prolific as you. I don't think people can conceive of how many pieces of art you have created, by your age. I think there's people who die artists who have been doing art their whole life that don't even come close to the number of finished art pieces you've made. And it's mind-blowing. I mean, I don't even know how to put a number on it. Is it 10,000? I would guess it's at least this. I have no idea, but I watch you pump out, and not because you're like trying to get things done, but just because you just, like you
I'm a
said,
machine.
you are, and you're just drawing all day. And so like drawing all night, and like I'll go to bed and you're sitting there and you're like making art, and then I like wake up and you've got like another new 1 or 2 or 3 creations. It's like every single day. And I think, like you said, it's your therapy, it's this, it's that. I think you're also channeling. Right? Like
Yeah.
I think stuff's just coming through because you get so into that zone, and then you get done with something and I'm just like, what is that? It's so amazing. And you do it every day. Like it's nothing.
It's pretty fun.
It's pretty cool.
It
It's
is definitely
prolific.
fun.
We need a word beyond prolific to describe it. I think you broke some
Well, it
kind of
is like
record.
automatic writing. That's why I was kind of fascinated with like Edgar Casey and stuff, because I'm just like, it's like, yeah, I'm drawing, but I don't know. I can't always say that it like came from me. I don't know. Like I can't explain it. It just is me. And that's why eventually I'm sitting there going like, people all make careers out of their strong suits and shit. Like, why can't I? And that's why that's why I quit for my like graphic design. I don't know if I coined the phrase, but I'm an imagination specialist.
Yeah.
Like I've worked with like I did Ricky Verandas's some artwork for him, which is like way outside of my wheelhouse. And like it was like funny because what he wanted and what I wanted to do were like so different, but I was able to finally like channel in and like focus, and we found the middle ground of like what he was looking for. And I did that recently with like some places are really easy. Like some places are like, they've seen my work and they're like, we want your work. And I get all in my shit because I'm like, oh, graphic designer, like it has to be this and that. And they're like, no. I would call a graphic designer if I wanted some like homogenized shit. I want you. I want your mind. And so I've like had the pleasure of working with some brands and like bringing their stuff to life somehow. I don't know if it's like psychically or what, but like I can see their vision, like, and it may take a few times. Sometimes it's right on the spot. But it's like really fun to work on stuff like that. I've done like a lot of your work. But this Rogue Solo goes all you.
Oh, that's true. That is kind of weird, actually. You've done
You're
all
an
my...
artist too. You're badass at it. Like it was funny. I remember when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do some art, like some collage. I was like, oh God, collage. Like I hate collage. And then I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Well, thank you.
yeah, you're very talented in many ways. It's really fun because we complement each other in like wild ways. Like I can't write for shit. If I did a podcast, it would just be me cursing and screaming for like 2 hours. And like maybe that would be like what makes you like Alex Jones or something.
They get you famous.
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun to have the symbiosis because you inspire me in different ways. And then even when I think stuff is like garbage, you're like, no, it's like really good. I'm like, okay. Like
well, it's funny. We
it's
can
fun.
be our own worst critic, and not just that we can be. I think almost all of us are our own worst critic. And so I'll see you just like trash talking something, and I'm like, you're the only person who sees that. That looks perfect to the rest of us. Like the rest of us love this. And you're like, oh, there's this and this. And I'm like, but I understand it because, you know, as a writer and as like the other forms of art, I do the same thing where like, I know all of the things that aren't perfect about it. But like the normal person who isn't an author, isn't a painter, you know, isn't an artist, like they're not seeing that. They're just, you know, lost in like the beauty of it. So, you know, some people might, but that's not how it is. So it's the same with most of us, no matter what it is we do. We see all the things that no one else is paying attention to.
I've gotten a lot better in the last like 5-6 years of like just releasing stuff and being like, it's okay. Like remember that like giant painting I was doing a couple of weeks ago for my friend. Like I was like, oh God, this isn't great. This isn't great. If I was like, I should take a picture and send it to him, be like, yeah, this is done, and see what he says. He's like, it's done. Oh hell yeah, it's amazing. Because otherwise you might just sit there and paint forever. That is my shortcut. That's my biggest downfall. If I'm making art for someone I genuinely love, I will spend the rest of time on it because I'm like, it's not good enough because it doesn't show you how much I care about you or something. Like, and in reality, I have to be like, dude, nobody notices that like little line that like, or whatever you think is an imperfection. Like, and it was good to learn that to like let something go because like they say, no art is ever finished. It's just abandoned. And it's
so true. Every artist understands that in their soul. It's so true. So you have this art book then. You've had more than this art book, but you have a new art book that you have put together. So tell us about it.
Yeah, this one is called Portals and Channels. I feel like I kind of went through and picked some stuff that was more in the realm of spirituality, maybe a little bit deeper. This one in particular is that I can tell you, I know the exact meaning of that one. That is me angrily meditating. Maybe not me, but it's like the the persona of someone who like is kind of on the fence about the woo-woo or meditation. Because I still to this day feel like I can't. Although during your retreat, I sure as shit did. I feel like my meditation is definitely, I think my meditation is definitely when I am drawing. Like it is definitely a very meditative state. But anyway, that imagery there, it is kind of like me just like, or maybe not just me, but like anyone kind of being like on the fence about meditation. Or like kind of like begrudgingly being spiritual or something. But he's like floating above a portal.
Yeah.
So he's like doing it. He's just like resistant to the idea. So some of my artwork does have a little bit of meaning or like funny stuff to it. But yeah, this book, like I feel like a lot of it was just, it's like late night channeling. It's stuff that I will probably later put into maybe painting form. This is all stuff that I like sketch at night digitally because it's really fast for my brain. Pulling out like a sketch pad and a pen is great. I love to do analog art. Like I'll never stop doing analog art, but the digital, like the iPad with Procreate is like the quickest way to capture an idea and like bring it to like finished form, without having to break out 45 pencils, testing like color fading and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's a lot to it for sure. But this book itself does tend to lean more on like the channeling side or spiritual aspects of life. Like this one here is kind of like life and death. And it can be interpreted however the viewer wants to interpret it. Like I liked that the skull has like fertile grass on it, and like the sun is like touching it, but like leaving a shadow, but the sun has a third eye. There's like so much to it that it just happened. Like I was just drawing. I was like, oh, this face looks cool. Like, oh, what if it's like on a skull? Like, and then I get done, and then everyone at like the Oddity Fest, like I sell out of that one like quite often. And I don't know if it's like because like the goth people like skulls and shit, or or if they're getting the whole meaning, you know. Like,
that's what's really cool about channeled material is that people, no matter where they're at, where they're coming from, what they're experiencing, like everyone gets what they need out of it. So someone's going to see that yin yang, and they're going to see that subtle, like the shadow of the sun and the grass of the skull, and how it, you know, how the light is in the dark and the dark is in the light, and they're all together as one, mirroring each other. And other people are going to be like, cool skull, dude. You know, but it's like everybody gets the experience, and so it's really cool. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. That is an ode to overthinking. That is literally how pointless overthinking can be, because it leads to nothing. I that was like my thoughts. I was like, I want to do like a whole series on like overthinking, because I tend to do it, or perfectionism, or, you know, anything that we do to ourselves to like kind of sabotage progress. Like,
yeah,
like
you can see some of the frustration in this face over here, and some of the pointlessness up here.
Yeah, it's awesome. A fun. That's like one of my favorite pieces, which is funny. Most of my favorite pieces like are ones that other people are like, meh, whatever.
Well, it's funny because I feel like this is the thing we can do with anything. Like we can just kind of be like, oh yeah, there's a book, or there's a painting, or here's a song, and we just kind of like breeze past it. But if we stop and actually like look, and especially true with your stuff, you start to notice more and more and more and more. And eventually you've been staring at this one piece for like half an hour because you're like, oh my God, like there's so much in here. And it's just layered. It's deep.
Thank you.
I love this guy.
Yeah, he's fun. I don't really have a meaning for him, but he definitely has something to do with growth.
Yes. He's definitely got like a guardian vibe, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like a guardian or a teacher. And I love his daisy that he's got. It's so cool. So cool. I mean, just this is the thing too, is like your I don't know, understanding of or knowledge of like anatomy. And so you've got these like it's actually crazy like how perfect and I don't know, detailed. I'm not an art person, so I don't actually have like the words for it, but I can see it in your creations of the balance, I don't know, symmetry. It's pretty cool.
I also like to do a lot of like, it's probably because I really liked Sam Flores, but I like to do a lot of like relaxed hands. Like I feel like relaxed hands kind of say something. Like the one hand over like maybe his chest or something was like a little more straight and sturdy, but the other is more like he's like letting go, or he's like relaxed in who he is, even though he has like a pizza chest or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So see, like that's exactly it. It's like when I look at him, I'm like, this is a confident, relaxed, you know, being. But I wouldn't have known that like the relaxed hand is what does that.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I don't know. I had really good art teachers.
You did. Yeah, and then we have this. Talk about
that's an angel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the cube of Saturn is above his hand. You and Charlie were actually Charlie was talking about that yesterday on day 0.
Oh yeah.
And then that's a reversible page too. Like it works both ways, like because there's a UFO underneath the eye, the hand is coming out of. This is basically angelic though. And the Black Knight satellite is up in the corner for
Yes.
whatever reason, just for I like to throw the Black Knight satellite in the shit every once in a while.
Because it's crazy and most people don't know anything about it.
Right. Then you've got like
Give
the
'em-
medicine snakes going up the pole, like when
Yeah.
it's like reversed. That's a fun. I like to do reversible imagery. It's
Oh,
really
you have
fun
it so many reversible ones.
because it almost also that one upside down almost like tells the story of Lucifer, like
Ooh, yeah.
because it's like going down. Like anyway, I
Yep.
like
It's
that
like
one
the
a lot.
falling from grace, but then this direction is like the rising back up out of
Yeah,
the chaos. Yeah. Oh,
but
it's
then they're
cool.
like
I
about to touch
love,
the cube of Saturn, so maybe they're about to like implode again. I don't
well,
know.
I don't know if you know this consciously, but the Saturn energy is sort of like the barrier between the material universe and heaven.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like about to go right through that, perhaps.
right.
Very cool. And there's this guy having his orange juice.
Yeah, that was. I just made that into like a giant painting. Also, which it was funny. I have a studio of artists that once a month we get together and we talk about our pieces or whatever, and we just kind of hang out and have fun. And it's awesome because I get to sneak junk food because I'm away from the home and like you can't judge me. So not that you do, but I'm just saying it feels better to have it secretly. But yeah, that's just like a trip to Arches National Park, and a lot of times I would use paint markers to do line work on a piece, but I didn't really realize how big of a like I had bit off more than I could chew, really.
That's a giant canvas.
It's a huge canvas, and it turned out really good, but I couldn't use paint markers because I could not find the colors that matched it. So I had to get a liner brush and like hand line it all. And to me, it looks imperfect and it looks bad. And I was like saying that to them while I was like showing it to them, and everybody's like, can't tell.
You're
Like,
crazy.
I can't tell at all. It looks super clean. So, but I love that one. That was me. Just I know the meaning of that. I mean, that was me just being satisfied that we lucked out and got to see Arches, because I always wanted to go there, and it was just by happenstance. It was like 40 minutes away from one of our campgrounds, and we went, got in, saw it all. So that was fun.
And it was hilarious because it was like 110 degrees out, and we were eating like hot soup in our van in front of the German tourists, and they were like, "What the hell is wrong with them?"
We had the AC blasting, like eating hot soup like directly out of the pot because we heated it up at the campsite before we left. It was like 100 degrees outside, and we're just eating hot soup, sweating in a van.
Hot soup was a bad choice.
And we both noticed it at the exact same moment, like how fucking crazy we probably looked, because we just like locked eyes and just started cracking up. I think I have a picture of it somewhere.
Being thrifty has its amazing moments.
Exactly. You get to go to Arches because you saved money eating soup.
Hey, this guy's got a cold juice, so maybe there was a subconscious wish we had cold juice that day.
True.
True. All right, well, look at this. I love the Tai Chi master. That's what I always think he is, at least.
Yeah, that's definitely a cosmic page of 4 different images. I like the bowl a lot. I that was like above his head, he's got like a portal into like another galaxy, and then the cube of Saturn again, and then the bowl actually, was it the ox stands for Saturn or whatever?
The bull and the ox, both. The Apis bull, I think specifically, is like most connected, but it's another thing where like if you know that and you look at that piece, you're like, what the hell? And even if you don't know it and you look at it, you're like, that is an awesome piece. All right.
Yeah, no, that was a fun one. I ended up making that into a acrylic painting, and it's in a very lovely home with a friend. That feels good. And I like the little guy too with the straight jacket, and there's like an astronaut in his brain. I don't know. It's just I wanted to throw all like the cosmic stuff together on one page. But I don't know why I didn't feel like those were necessarily like full page worthy, but they probably are. I don't know.
If you did a full page for everything in this art book, how big would it be?
4,000 pages.
Yeah, like it'd be a little bit absurd. So you're kind of giving people more bang for their buck by putting, multiples on one page.
Right.
And then here's some classic Johnny Larson absurdity.
Some animals. I don't know how goats do it, but they will just stand completely. I just love watching goats like stand on the side of rocks. So I was like, I'm just gonna make it like as crazy absurd, like he's just like Spider-Man, like
It's awesome
just
too, because I
able to
think
hang there and
some people will look at this and they'll just think that it's sideways.
right,
Like you just
right.
meant to do it the other direction and they'll not get the joke, but it's so funny. And goats are like, you're
Well, I was
like, how
hoping
are
that
you
the
even
clouds
standing
like,
there?
yeah, no, I was hoping the clouds like totally lent to like letting people know that it's not sideways. I'm going to paint that.
That's so
I
fun.
can't wait. Actually, that's gonna be a
Well,
fun
you're
one.
gonna paint it. Someone's gonna buy that painting and they're gonna hang it the other direction.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. And I love this phoenix. A lot of people get drawn to this phoenix. I think that's one of. Wait, do you agree? Is that one of your top sellers?
Yeah, I didn't think it would be. Um, with like origami themes, I just think it's kind of fun and just like out of nowhere. Like my last art book, like the cover had origami on it. Actually, I'll grab it. It was like my origami Alice in Wonderland. I have no idea what's going on, but she's kind of a hottie with her
Oh yeah, I
her
love her.
leggings or whatever, and she's just on a checkerboard, but she's got her like lingerie legs or whatever.
It's so cool. That
Like
would
it's
be
funny that
another
I see
one.
this as a her. Like I'm like that's a person, and other people are like you're crazy. That's folded
No, I
paper
saw
with
it as a
legs.
her too. That would be another one that'd be a really cool mural. I mean, most of your stuff would be really cool as murals, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
want to
Then
put
we've
that
got
one in the
our
Dolly Museum if they
yeah.
ever hire me to do that mural room.
Heck yeah. That'd be so awesome. That's definitely gonna happen someday. And then I love a little T-Rex man down here.
Yeah. Yeah, don't give up on your dreams. That was kind of inspired by the movie Step Brothers, where the dad was like, I wanted to be a T-Rex so bad. My parents wouldn't let me. Funny enough, I've sold a lot of those on my T Public site, which doesn't really pay me, but at least people can like have shirts of my stuff. But
Yeah.
a lot of onesies of that one
Really?
have sold. The little
That's
dinosaur,
so
yeah.
cute. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's funny, the T Public thing, we get like what, $2 to $4 per
Like
shirt.
$2 a shirt, yeah.
Yeah. But it
Which
is
would be
fun.
great if I sold a million shirts. That'd be rad.
Exactly. It's scalable. Yeah, and so then this book, people can grab it here. Tell us about how they can get it.
Yeah, so I did it on Kickstarter. It has confused some of my friends who aren't complete nerds because Kickstarter is basically your chance to fund a project to fruition. It's saying you believe in the project and you want to donate to either like there's just donation tiers, but you can also like buy a copy of the book, or like another tier will be like a copy of the book and then like a drawing based off of a prompt, a one word prompt. Um, I have like another tier that's like a collector's tier that comes with a print and like desktops, a PDF version. So there's just all these different tiers and different ways to support. Like starting at $5 is like a wallpaper pack for your desktop. You get the PDF version for $20. The book itself is $40. Shipping is $10 because it just is, because everything is expensive now. And that was the thing with tariffs, the book became a little bit more expensive to print, but I was able to keep it at the same price point as my first book, which is $40 for the book. And it's 68 pages. It's magazine size. It's 10 inches. Is it 10 point? I think it's 10.5 by 8 inches. And it's printed in brilliant full color with like no commentary. It's just, I want people to look at it and resonate with stuff and get ideas that speak to them. Like I've been calling my stuff Rorschach in Technicolor because I feel like everybody is gonna have a mirror to
Yeah,
themselves with my work. So
that's absolutely
um,
true.
it kind of
I
came to fruition because people would go through my print box at shows and they'd be like, I don't know what to pick. There's so many things. So I'm like, you know what? I should make a book and just I was trying to do it annually. My last one was 2023, and this just took a little bit longer to put together because I'm old and slow. So, it's going to be a really good book. I'm super excited. It's printed on, like, I upped the quality on this one too, compared to the last one. The last one was great. It was great quality. But I just decided to spend a little bit extra to make sure like the cover is like supposed to be like this suede touch, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully more people tap in. It's met its goal, but there's still 2 weeks left, a little less than 2 weeks left to order a copy, and you'll be guaranteed to get one. So I
And
would
there's
love it if,
also, yeah, and there's also these other options like this is cool. Signed copy of the book and an original drawing is only $80 plus $10 shipping, and you get an original drawing. It's not the one you see pictured here because it's original. It'll be something different. So it'll be just like, this
yeah, it'll be
drawing you get to
specifically
have.
for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there's plenty of those left available if people want to get in, because you have limited slots for some of these things because you're not going to sit there and produce like 1,000 original drawings, right? You don't have the time in the
Right,
day,
right. I
but
even
there's
bit off more than I could probably chew on that one. Like that's why I said January is the expected shipping date, just in case like 20 people did want that. Like that would take a little bit longer to draw them all. But because I want to take the care, I don't want to just like shit stuff out. I want it to be personalized for each person, which is, I
I
feel like
love
that's a
this.
really good price, good deal.
It is. I love this tier too, the collector bundle. So you get the book, you get the colored illustration, you get a PDF of the books, which is awesome because you can like have it on your computer and you could be like scrolling through anytime, anywhere you are at. You can share that I'm not share like give it to people, but like show people, right? Like look at this
Right.
that I have. Like this is so cool. And also the signed numbered art print and the wallpaper for your desktop. That's not even, you have like another bundle on top of that,
Right.
that also has the original book, which was Late Night Musings. So that's the last book, right, that you did, and so they can have it all. So if you're like, wait, you had another book, I never got to see that one, like you even can get that with this same project. This newer book is called Portals and Channels, which I love that title as well. And what I love too is you're like, well, I believe in the project, right? And I love your style and I want to see where you go from here. So you can get any of these tiers, but you can also add on if you're just like, I just want to see what you do next. Here's a tip or here's a bonus, right? So you can do that too. I know a couple people who have
Right.
pledged have done that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool because it just keeps, it's another project that will like keep me funded. Like obviously like it's printing the book, you're helping me print the book, so you're like a part of the project. And then it keeps me going with the little bit of like extra money. It like funds my studio work and other stuff as well. So it's like a nice side project that's like supportive, but it's also like a pretty badass book. Like a lot of
And
people that have bought them like in the past for like family members and stuff, like as gifts, because I would have like a few left over or whatever, like their family members like love them.
yeah,
And I get it if like you're looking at this and you're like, holy shit, this art is not for me. Like that totally makes sense too, because I've
that
done
happens too. Yeah.
that. That is absolutely fair. I'm fine with that. Doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
Right. Well, and it's cool, like, again, if you have this book, it's like the best coffee table, like conversation starter. And I remember there was someone you were giving stickers to, it was like our barista or something. And she was like, we came back like a couple months later and she's like, dude, it's crazy. Like our friends and us just sit around and we look at your stickers all the time. Like we just talk about them because they're so cool. I'm like, it's true. They're
Right.
conversation starters for sure. So what you do is you go here to kickstarter.com. The link's right below wherever you're watching or listening. It'll take you right to Johnny Larson, Portals and Channels, and you'll see this back this project button. And you just click there and then it shows you all those tiers we just talked about. You can select whatever tier you want. And then once you select that, it also will ask you if you want to throw in any additional tip or whatever. You can also just pledge without a reward if you want, right? You can just throw in a couple bucks or $10, $20 or whatever to help back the project. And that is all there for you whenever you want to. So yeah, I hope people go do that. What else do you want to tell us about what you've got, where people can go, what they can do, or anything I missed?
Another way to support, like if you don't really want to do the book, but you're interested in seeing my art, like my Patreon could use some visitors. I have a Patreon I think it's just patreon.com/Johnny Larson. I could be wrong, but Lindsay always puts the link, I believe, in stuff. If not, it's at johnnylarson.com. But if you're like into just kind of seeing what I post, like or what I'm working on, I usually make like 3 to 5 artworks a week that I share. And I put them there first, and then I like wait about a month before I throw them on social media. And some stuff never makes it there. I'm trying to get a little better at using that and possibly Substack to just kind of show people the process, just talk about it. Like, it'd be really fun if more people had commentary and like more exchange with it. But I get it. Like, some people just want to look and just check stuff out, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I may in the future, because I believe in art and the therapy of art, I was thinking about maybe doing like some Zoom classes in the future, teaching people how to just be creative with paint, just be creative with art, just because it's such a good release. It's such a good therapeutic process. But the details on that are kind of muddy. But I'd be curious if anyone hears this and is like interested in something like that. You can shoot me a message on my website. There's like a contact form, or you can just go ahead and sign up to my mailing list, because I also let everybody kind of know what's going on. I'm pretty bad at it. You won't get a lot of spam from me. I think I send an email out like every 4 months or something like that, but
you're like
I'll
me.
probably get a little
Very
more
few
active.
emails.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just kind of what I was thinking about doing, like in the future, because I feel like the power of creation is crazy therapeutic.
Yep.
And I feel like people should all tap into that.
Well, and you have this really beautiful approach of taking away the sort of, I feel like, you know, people are like stressed. They're like, oh, I'll learn to paint, and then it's all technical, and it's and you're much more like, oh no, we're going right into this, and it's no, you know, no barriers. Like, this is therapy, and just like, look at what you can do with very little effort, and like, you know, and
Right.
it's cool. So I like that idea of offering that class for the therapeutic aspect of just being creative and having fun with it. It's really, really cool. So people can follow you. You're at Yeti_slang on Instagram, I think, and Twitter and Facebook, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. The
I think
link
so.
to your Patreon, your regular website where people can go anytime, even though if you're not doing this, like, you know, project and this Kickstarter, and a bunch of your art and a lot of your projects are there. And link to the project itself. And so if anybody wants to go pledge at any of those tiers and get their rewards, then that's really cool too. All of that's going to be linked to wherever you're watching or listening. You're seeing that below you. But it also it's good to follow people on social media. It is also good to remember that social media doesn't always show you the people you follow. So you may want to go check it out on purpose, you know, and like the things and comment on them, because then it'll put it back in your feed. So I remind people that I should remind people that for myself too. That's all of us.
Right.
If you love us and what we do, you should probably be making sure you get a little contact with us on social media so that it keeps us in your feed. So people can do that too. Yeah. Anything else I can miss or that I missed?
No, I just think that'd be really fun. Even just if anybody listening wants to just go and follow on Instagram and even just talk, like if like a piece of art speaks to you or something. I love talking to everybody. So I think that'd be a lot of fun to get a little bit more interaction and stuff, because that's kind of the point of my entire artistic body of work.
Especially in this day and age when the algorithms are really something to overcome. It is really fun to actually connect with people on social media and otherwise. So what are your final thoughts you want to say to people before we say goodnight?
Always try, if you can, to just remain positive in your thinking. Even when the chips are down, just realize that the universe has your back. Don't give in to despair or silly things that like try to make you doubt yourself. You can do whatever you want. Obviously, we can't all do like, you know, climb a 14er without like eating food or anything silly like that. But your thoughts create your reality. I used to think that was bullshit, but it is absolutely true. You have so much power within, and I think that's why the powers that be try to make you feel small and insignificant. So just remember, you're not. You are a god of your own world. So yeah, that's what I'd like to say to people. Keep it positive. Keep smiling.
It's a beautiful thing. And fellow travelers of the path, it is a beautiful thing. This has been your analog electric concentric dose of wisdom, according to the Zen keeping art slinging rat machinist, Johnny Larson of JohnnyLarson.com. Johnny, thank you for being here and being you.
Thanks for having me.
The path of life brings us low, it brings us high, it brings us the mind-bending strangeness, and it brings us the mundane and simple normalcy. There's no telling what's coming next or how you will encounter it, and it always helps to have a fellow traveler on this path, especially one who has already explored the absolute depths of every aspect of existence and then turned it into art. The symbolism of which has transcended your meager inability to express the ineffable and allows us the comfort of seeing and knowing the truth that we are not alone. No matter what you encounter next and who you encounter it with, travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside first. Mwah.
Glued to them screens, it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rumors that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood ones, a holly suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempt the mental robbery, executed sloppily. The pomp proceed as mockery and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.